Hello and welcome to today's lesson where we're looking at the marketing funnel and the journey from stranger to customer. So the purpose of a marketing funnel, which you'll sometimes see referred to as a purchasing funnel or a sales funnel, is to illustrate the hypothetical journey a customer takes in going from someone who knows nothing about a company to a customer of that company. So basically, a marketing funnel is designed to turn leads into customers. Now, the idea is that the marketer shows their advertisements to a broad array of their ideal potential customers and then nurtures those leads slowly over time through the funnel, reducing the number of potential customers at each stage of the funnel until eventually those leads that arrive at the bottom of the funnel become customers. Now, the concepts you'll learn in this video apply equally to both the online and the offline world. So let's begin by looking at the classic marketing funnel, which I'm sure most of you will already be familiar with. Now, before we jump in, I should state that this funnel is for illustrative purposes only. There's no such thing as a marketing funnel as you can see it in this diagram. There's only a series of interactions people go through with your company and with other companies as they make their way from being a complete stranger to a loyal customer. So in short, every single marketing funnel is unique. So the stages of the hypothetical funnel are as follows. So awareness, and that's where someone notices your business or your offer or your advertisement. Interest, where they are finding out a little bit more about you, doing a bit of research. Evaluation, where they're looking to see if your business is credible, if you're real, if you look like you're trustworthy, if other people have had a good experience with you. Finally, there is trial, where they decide to do business with you in some small way. And at the bottom of the funnel is adoption. And that's where they finally decide to jump on board and become a customer. Now, it's worth noting that how much a company will be prepared to pay to turn an unknown prospect into a customer will very much depend on the lifetime value of that customer to the business. So to layer up our funnel slightly, another dimension to consider is the time customers are prepared to devote to interact with the company at each stage of the funnel. So this is basically, we're going to look at our funnel considering time. Now, as you can see, people initially have very little time for you as you're just another voice amongst thousands of voices competing for their attention. Now, as they start to investigate you further, they begin to devote more and more time. However, once they've evaluated you and they trust you, they start to dedicate less and less time to you. Now, it's important to understand how the time dimension impacts on your marketing. It can be really tempting to bombard prospects with information as soon as they express an interest in you. And it's easy to see why companies do this, as they want to show, everything that they're capable of. But remember, that isn't what people want as they go through your funnel. So as an example, rather than initially send your prospect a huge case study once you've piqued their interest, perhaps it might be better initially to send them just a single page containing a bullet point list of results you've achieved for others. Now, true, that might take just 30 seconds for them to digest, but it actually gives them what they want to know, not what you want them to know. And if they like what they read or what they see, then they can start to take it a bit further and evaluate you a bit more. Now, another way to think about the time dimension is to consider if you're connecting prospects with the right information at the right time. So if you're using case studies, are they just sitting there on your website, or would it perhaps be better to send a couple of case studies that can be digested in under 5 minutes out to new prospects automatically 3 weeks after they first expressed interest in you? So adding this time dimension just gives you another way to think about, are you doing the right kind of information at the right point in your funnel? So now it's time to add our final dimensions to the funnel, and those are emotion and logic. Now, emotion and logic are inversely related as a person moves through the funnel, and you need to change your messaging based on how people's emotion and logic change and interact as they move through the funnel. Now, as a really simple example, you should begin at the top of your funnel by using emotion to capture their attention. So maybe they feel a certain way, or they identify with others that feel a certain way. But then once you have their attention, you need to use logic to show them that you're good at what you do and you can address, the wants and requirements that they have. But once you've done that, finally, to seal the deal and to make them a customer, you need to go back to using emotion. Emotion is a powerful tool in getting prospects across the line once they've reached, the penultimate stage of your funnel. So now that we understand, the basics of marketing funnel theory, let's take a look at a couple of examples. So in this example of an online funnel, we're going to consider a weight loss firm that displays their ads via Facebook. Now, in this example, the ad is nothing more than an image of a smiling man holding up a t-shirt, that's obviously several sizes too big for him. The implication is obviously that the man has lost lots of weight using this company. Now, that ad equates to the awareness part of our funnel. It's simply trying to grab attention and get people to click on it. And when they do, a 15-second video plays of the man explaining how great the company's program is. And it's at this point, we're still in the awareness part of the funnel. Now, at the end of the video, an offer is presented to enable the prospect to download a case study. And that's going to tell the story of 100 previous customers who've been super happy with the company and lost lots of weight using their program. And to download the case study, all the prospect has to do is enter their email address. So once they've entered their email address, they're now in the evaluation stage of our funnel, where they potentially read that case study, browse the company's website, and they start to receive regular emails from the company. Then after a few weeks, the prospect receives an email explaining that they can trial the service for 1 month for just $1. Now at the end of the month, they'll be taken onto the regular subscription price of $49.99, but they can cancel their subscription easily anytime in that first month, so they get to try the whole thing for just $1. Now, signing up to the trial provides the prospect with a very low barrier way to try the company. And at that point, our prospect enters the trial part of our funnel. Now, if at the end of the month they are enjoying the company's service and they're happy with it, then they move on to the full price subscription. And at this point, they're a full customer and they've entered the adoption part of the funnel. Now, notice how this happens automatically in this funnel without the customer having to do too much. And that makes sense because at this stage in the funnel, they're choosing to use the firm because they like the firm and they're making an emotional decision. So they don't have to invest too much time. And that correlates with what we were talking about previously about how much time people are prepared to give us and whether they're making a logical decision or an emotional decision. So right at the bottom of the funnel, they don't have too much time to give us and they're more making an emotional decision than a logical one. So let's move on to another example. So this time we're going to look at a real world example. So for this example, imagine a real estate company that prints an ad for their services on a piece of card. Now, on the piece of card, it doesn't say much about the company, but simply shows some of the houses the company's sold locally and the prices that those houses have achieved. Now, obviously the cards also contain a link to the company's website, should the prospect wish to find out further information about the company. Now, these cards are then posted through the letterboxes of everyone who lives where the best buyers are for this business. And that is done, every single month. Now, at any given point in time, probably even less than 1 in 100 people are ready to sell their house. But by sending these mailings out consistently, month on month, over a period of years, the company is building top-of-mind awareness, and that's the first level of our funnel. They're building that top-of-mind awareness for when the prospect is ready to sell, even if that takes 5 years or more. Now notice how the cards contain very little information, and that's because people won't invest much time in the company at this stage of the funnel. And notice how using house prices the firm has achieved in the area tries to emotionally connect with the homeowner. Now, the link to the company's website provides a way for the house owner to get further information about their services, and that's obviously the interest section of our funnel. And here, as they're prepared to invest more time, they can research the results the firm has achieved, their average sale price, their average sale time, etc., etc. And, at this point, the website also offers a no obligation, totally free valuation. Now, if they pursue this valuation, that's going to take the customer further down the funnel into the evaluation trial phase. At this point, they're offered the opportunity to market their property on a no-win, no-fee basis. Now, the homeowner will have already done their research on the company. And so this is a relatively frictionless offer where no money exchanges hands. And it's an easy way to move the homeowner further down the funnel to the trial phase. Now, obviously, once the house is sold and the homeowner is in the process of moving, the homeowner finally becomes a customer and they move to the final phase of the funnel, the adaptation phase. So, an important term to understand when learning about marketing funnels is conversion rate. Now, a conversion rate simply defines how many of one thing become another thing. Now, in terms of our marketing funnel, this could mean how many people who clicked on an ad become customers, or it could mean how many people who had a consultation then went on to become customers. Now, as you can see in the diagram, we have a complete example, and you can see here that the total cost for a simple advertising campaign was $2,300, and the campaign received 2,300 clicks. So that's $1 per click. Now, of these 2,300 people who clicked on the ad, 230 expressed an interest by entering their email address in exchange for a download. So that gives us obviously a conversion rate of 10%. Now, at this point, the company nurtured these leads and offered them the opportunity to attend a webinar. And again, 23 prospects attended this webinar. So again, that's a conversion rate of 10% from the people who entered their email address. And obviously the cost at this stage is $100 per webinar attendee. Now, of those people who attended the webinar, 4 signed up for a trial, and that's a conversion rate of 17%. And finally, 1 of those 4 people went on to become a customer, conversion rate of 25%, and you can see that the total cost to acquire 1 customer is thus $2,300, which matches what was spent on the whole campaign. So I hope seeing both the examples from the online world and the physical world, and also seeing the figures associated with a marketing funnel campaign, give you a real sense of how these marketing funnels work in practice. So, in summary, the classic marketing funnel shows the hypothetical journey a customer goes on as they move from being unknown to a company to being a customer. The key to understanding marketing funnel theory is to realize that at each stage of the funnel, some customers are going to be lost, but others will be nurtured one step closer to becoming a customer. Now, every business will employ a marketing funnel, and that includes, everything from the corner store to Apple. It's just that the complexity of the funnel is going to differ from one company to the other. Now, because every funnel uses funnels to some degree, it can be useful to have a basic understanding of marketing funnels, regardless of whether you happen to work in marketing or not.